So welcome friends, welcome to your channel Efficient Corporate. So we were doing a part of the Power Query Excel Power Query tool where we were learning how we can create our own MIS, how we can automate our MIS through use of Power Query tools. So in the last video, if you have watched it, we have done till the part of merging various queries. So I'll just share my screen to show that till what part we had did last time. I'll just close it for now. So we had seen that how we have merged multiple queries. We have taken the name of the customers by merging the queries, and then product name, HSN code, GST rate, price, and all these things we had done till now. Now, if you look at the main Excel file which we had, we also need the other columns. Like these columns we had taken out from by using the merge query, which is the VLOOKUP function. Just adjust it a bit. We have done from the VLOOKUP function. Now apart from these were manual, like these were the part of the report. Now these were the columns which we needed to add. The greens are the one which I have already added. You can see GST rate has already been added, the sales price, HSN code, product name, sales price, HSN code, and the product name. All these four columns have been added. The state code have been added, and with the state code we have also identified the state name, destination state name, and the name of the customers. So these are the columns which I have identified. Now how do you apply these things, like how do you do a multiplication, how do you do this subtraction, and also there are some if formulas, there are some complex if formulas as well. If you have to identify the table, there are some complex if formulas. So how do we identify it, how do we do these formulas into it? Now now you won't prefer making a column right here, like if I want to say you that okay, do it like price into units. So that is not a preferred way of doing it. So the best way is to even add these things in the Power Query. Okay, so let's see that how do we do it. So I'll just delete these columns for now. Now it has become a connection only. I've discussed already the concept of connection only and loading data in my earlier video. So now you have to add some more columns which are based on some logic. So I've just written which columns I want to add. I want to add the sales amount before tax. So here you are getting a ribbon of adding the columns. So here not the column for example, but just a custom column. Okay, so I'll just press on custom column. It will ask me a few things, that what is the cost column name. I'll just say sales amount. Sales amount, take now. So I'll just do this much. Now what is the sales amount? The sales amount is basically units sold. I'll just double click on it. Okay, whichever table column you need, double click on it, double click, and then multiply by sales unit into the price. So you just double click. It's so simple. By just clicking and dragging drop, the user interface is very friendly. So sales amount is added that column. Now the next column which I added needs a taxable value. How to add taxable? Again, add column, custom column. Then they add taxable value. Now what is the formula for taxable value? It says total sales amount minus discount. The discount is over here. Okay, so I'll just click on OK. I added this column. Okay, it's as simple as that. Now next is IGST. Now this part is a bit tricky, so I want you to pay attention over here. So now I want to add an IGST. So when do we charge IGST? IGST is charged when the seller and buyer are in different states. So I have the state name of the customer, I have the state name of the supplier. So whenever the supplier state and the customer state are different, I want to apply IGST. And IGST basically means taxable value into GST rate, right? So this is what we want. So I'm here just showing you that when we did something like this, then I'll do a conditional column, because there's an if statement involved. If this is equal to this, so add a conditional column. Give it a name. I give it a name of IGST. Now the column name. So I want that if the supplier state is equal to, now it's such a beautiful interface, you can do whatever you want to do. So if you want to like type in something here, like if it is equal to like Delhi or something, you want to type, then it's okay. But this time we don't want to type a value, we want to give it a column, that if this supplier state is equal to the state name, if these both are equal, then what should we do? We need to multiply the GST rate into taxable amount. Now here is the pro tip which I want to give you. Now here you don't have an option to like multiply or do some calculations, right? So what you can do for now, you can just keep taxable value for now. Okay, I'll just show you that how you can rectify it. Just keep taxable amount for now, else the value will be zero because IGST will be zero in that column. Just hit OK. Now you will say, यार ये तो taxable value आ गया. I need a taxable value to GST rate. So how do we do that? So for that, the pro tip which I want to give you, if you look at this step, like whenever you click on a step, you can see the formula is being shown that what is exactly the step doing. Like when we added a new column sales amount, it said that table dot add column sales amount each unit sold into price. This is the sales amount. Then when I added the custom column 2, that time it said sales amount minus discount. Now when I'm adding this conditional column, it is saying what it is doing. If supply state is equal to state name, then taxable value it will be returning. But I want to multiply it by GST rate. So let's click on it. It's a very simple adjustment. Click on it, double brackets, GST space rate. So just ensure that there is space in between or there is an underscore. That should be same. So there is a space. So I'll be using space. Just do this and click on tick. You will be getting your GST rate. So now you can see that wherever, okay, sorry, I did a mistake over here. I chose equal to, but I should choose not equal to when state is not equal to. I'll just now click on this. Now at that time it was showing that interface, right, where equals and that parameters were okay, but now it has converted that into a custom column with a formula. So this is for equal to, and when you want to write not equal to, you have to do this. So this is stands for not equal to. This is same as Excel. Hit on request. Okay, so whenever this is not equal to, I got IGST. Now the same thing. Now I have to add the CGST column. So how do we do it? Add column, again custom column. So this time either you can do a conditional column, or again the next pro tip which we can have is, I'll just click on this. I'll copy this all because I know that this is a formula. I got the syntax. I'll add column. I'll do a custom column. I'll do a CGST. I'll just copy and paste. So I got this. Now in case of CGST, I will say if supply state is equal to state, if it is within the same state, then GST rate divide by 2. And when we do a divide by 2, I have to round it up with brackets. Okay, that is what I need to do. So that the half rate comes like 99% and not the 18%. I click on OK, I got GST. Okay, so there are two ways I showed you for any conditional columns. So one was that for that. So again, I'll show you the conditional column thing because that is a bit tricky than the adding directly column. That's quite easy. So for the conditional column, you write the column name. If supply state is equal to the column, not the enter the value column, the state name, then for now we will just have anything. You can have a GST rate. You can just add this, else 0. Okay, so this is the formula. Now when you have done this, if you try to click on this, you won't get that custom formula. You will get the same conditional column wala interface. But when you make some changes into it, like when you do GST rate divide by 2, if you just use this much, make any changes. Now if you hit on this, click on this tick sign, and now when you click on this, now you will see you got this. So that is what we need so that we can write our own formulas. So here I'll just hit into, and I need a taxable value. So what I can do, I can just click on taxable value. Instead of typing, I can just click on taxable value. So that click on taxable value, multiply by GST rate divide by 2. I'll do an OK, and I got the same as CGST HGST. So we have achieved this. We have done IGST, CGST, HGST. So it was a tricky part, like how do you deal with if formulas into your MIs, but that's again not so hard. Okay, so now talking about total GST. So it's a simple addition. So I'll do add column, custom column. It will be total GST. Sorry. And here I have to add three things. What are those three things? IGST plus CGST. Double click on it and click on plus as GST. It's a simple total GST. Okay, so now after adding this total GST, now the last portion which we have to add, which is a bit trickier, is to add the table 4A, 5A, or 9A. So if there's a credit note, it should be 9A. If that is not a credit note, then it will depend on whether the GST number is available or not. If GST number is available, then it will be 4A, otherwise it will be 5A. So how to use such kind of if and formulas? So there again, I'll give you a pro tip on how we can do it. So again, as we did for the IGST and CGST, will add a conditional column for now, and the column name will be, yeah, GST1 table, GST1 table. If column name, so I'll just start with very simple. If the document type is equal to credit note, then very simple, you can just say table 9 CDNR. Otherwise, else if, again we have to check one more condition. If the document type is equal to invoice, then do a table for, we can say B2B invoices. Else, now here I'm just skipping one part, that I also have to check one more condition, that the GST number is available or not, because in invoice, if GST number is also available, then B2B invoice, otherwise it will be table 5 B2C invoice. Okay, for now this is not complete. I'll just show you how we can make. I'll just click on OK. Now I got this table 4 and table 9 wherever the credit notes or they were available. Like I got it CDNR because there was a credit note. Now, but I have not got B2C, because in all the cases it has converted to B2B invoice. Now, how do I make changes in this formula? So for now, for that, I will have to know a bit of a very small portion of M language, or this Power Query language which we use. So for now, if you are trying to understand, it's a very simple English written, that GST1 table the column name, and for each row, if document type is equal to this, that is credit note, then do table 9. Else if document type is equal to invoice, then do this, else do this. Now in case of invoice, I have to add one more formula which simply will tell, and I'll just show you that what the actual syntax will be. It will be credit note, then this, if document type equal to invoice and GST number is not equal to null. So I'll just do, and I'll type in GST number is not equal to null. So let's do a space. Then for a invoice, otherwise it will be same as. I hope the query will work. Yeah, the query works. It's very like simple to use, but yeah, you have to know these basic syntaxes. Now you can see double 4a is coming. Now I'll just see whether for B2C has come or not, or still showing some error. Invoice, LC document type equal to invoice and GST number is not equal to null. Okay, so I'll just see whether there is any cases where GST number was nil. Okay, yeah, null cases. Just filter it out from now. Okay, so it is already applying B2C invoice. So it means the formula is correct. I'll just remove this step for now. So we have successfully added all the conditional column. So now to talk about, we have completed the step 2, which is the main transformation of the data. We have like extracted the data. We have made all the transformation. We have added all the necessary columns, and now it's the time to the step 3, that is the load the data. Now it's very simple. Now we have already added the columns. You can rearrange the rows. You can like do it over here, and you can simply do a drag and drop. Okay, and that's not a very big deal. You can simply drag and drop. You can rename the columns by pressing F2 and all these things. That is easy. Now close and load the data. Now how do I want to load data? Now till this point of time, you can see that there are no sheets, there are no data into this Excel file, because till now we have only created connections. Okay, we have not created any pivots or Excel files. So I'll just say load, and now I will load it as a pivot table report within the existing worksheet. So let's click on OK. Pivot table report. Now talking about GST1 table, it's over here. Now GST1 rate is over here, and I need the taxable value and all those things. So I'll set myself IGST, CGST, and SGST, and a taxable value. If I want to keep it, you can keep it over here. I'll just do some designing, some cosmetic changes. Okay, and GST rate will be a percentage, and this can be converted to value, which is fine. So now this pivot table, which we can see over here, it is a dynamic pivot table, because as soon as the power query will change, you can see that 254 rows have been loaded. If the back of the data, if the main data will change, the pivot will auto change. Okay, you can create one more pivot table. You can just click on, you can just now if you want to click another pivot table, so the other way is to insert a pivot table from external data source, not from table or range, because we don't have any table. We want to change from external data range. So how do you choose? You can choose a connection. You have all this query. I have the main sales data. I'll click on open. That is my, and I'll click on existing worksheet into sheet I1. Okay, so I've done another pivot table. So let's do HSN code. Okay, let's do GST, CGST, IGST, SGST, and taxable value. Whatever whatever you want to do, you can do it. That's quite easy to do. Okay, so this is how, like what I had said, that you can add as many pivot table as you want, and all these pivot tables are dynamic in nature. They are directly linked to that particular sales data. I'll just show you one small thing now, just to give you a hint of how these queries are actually bundled in this Excel. Um, Okay, so I've done that, double click, and if you go on view and if you go to query dependencies, so you can see how these queries are dependent. If I click on this, it will all are highlighted, like these three are highlighted, like from product master is going into here, customer code is going into here, and all these things, and this is the direct outcome of sales data. So in that way, you can also see that diagrammatic representation of the data, which is also good. And there are lot many stuff that you can really figure out and experiment with Power Query. It's a very handy tool. Just have your connections, have the main data, build in your Power Query, add some steps, and all those steps will be run whenever you hit a refresh. Like whenever I do a refresh, it will rerun all the steps which I had performed, and it will recalculate it. So you change the data, the output will change without you having to do all those things. Just set it for once, and you are done for like every time, and you don't need to do it each and every time manually. So I hope you kind of liked it, and you figure out a way of how you can really automate your MIS, and how you can make Excel to do all those calculations at the back end without you having that formulas at in the Excel sheets itself. So in that way, it's a great tool. And for any issues, for any comments, you can definitely reach out to me. That's I'm always available for that. And we will be discussing more Excel tips and more Power Query tips in the upcoming video, that how you can use it more efficiently, what are some uh, best practices to use Power Query. So that will be coming along. For any issues, you can speak it on the comment section, or you can directly mail it to me. So thanks for watching, thanks for your time, and we'll stay tuned. We'll be back again with such more exciting videos. Thank you.